God damn it, I trusted you! Fuck you! And fuck your worker!
Track to the end of Godzilla 2014 real fast. Right after Godzilla woke up with a monster fight hangover and stumbled back out into the ocean, the general populace of humanity were left guessing when the beast might show up again. But Monarch, the agency that specializes in studying the Titans, was hot on the G-Man's heels. In just a few months, they were able to relocate Godzilla and follow him with their ships and aircraft. From time to time, though, they would lose him for days or weeks at a time when he went far too deep to continue to be followed. This was likely due to Godzilla needing to go to his lair to take a nap here and there and keep his energy at high levels. Almost like he knew a great threat was going to show up at any moment, and one day that threat did surface. The Muto Prime. As described in our special documentary-style video right here, which you should definitely check out after this video if you haven't already, the Prime emerged in order to save its species from extinction. Guam. When the Muto Prime first shows itself to modern humanity, it's only a matter of minutes before Godzilla shows up to confront the beast, telling us that he was already hot on the monster's tail. The two monsters feel each other out, and only have a quick battle before the Muto Prime lands a strong blow on Godzilla's jaw, and then quickly burrows down and retreats from the battle. The Prime was not ready to fight the G-Man just yet. It needed to grow more strong before attempting its true goal of infecting Godzilla. Japan. The Muto Prime then appears next in a giant chasm underneath the Japanese mainland. Monsterverse Godzilla is not the type to cram himself through tunnels and caverns, so we don't see the big guy here. But we can safely assume that he was swimming just offshore waiting for the Muto Prime to come out of its hole. Barents Sea, northwest Russia. By the time the Muto Prime next appears, likely a couple of months later, it seems to have burrowed into one of the tunnels found under the surface of the Earth. As it pops up on the other side of northern Asia, off the coast of Russia and Greenland in the Barents Sea. The monster is quick to attack a nuclear Russian submarine here, trying to feast on the energy stored within the vessel. Godzilla must have taken a similar shortcut, as right after the Muto Prime attacks the submarine, Godzilla bursts out from the depths of the ocean and steamrolls into the Muto Prime. Knowing that it stands no chance at all against Godzilla in the water, the Muto Prime delivers another quick strike and retreats yet again, at this point antagonizing the G-Man to the point of making him mad. All part of the monster's plan of getting Godzilla to attack when the Prime was ready to infect him. France. The Muto Prime emerged a few weeks later in France, and began to attack a reactor plant located just off the coast, luring Godzilla out from the ocean once again in record time. The two have their most fierce battle yet, and this time the Muto Prime does not flee. Fighting Godzilla toe-to-toe, the Prime nearly manages to penetrate Godzilla's hide with its ovipositors, but the G-Man manages to force the monster back, and after the two share a roar at one another, they call it a draw and they both head their separate ways. Godzilla, though, is significantly more injured than the Prime. Monarch is able to follow Godzilla closer than ever at this point, as his movement was slow due to his injuries. Evolved to kill Gojira, the Muto Prime must have had an instinct telling it to wear Godzilla out by luring him all around the world. Each battle, Godzilla grew weaker and weaker, while the Prime managed to always get more energy from a man-made source. In the hopes of helping Godzilla and stopping a potential Muto invasion, Monarch, led by Emma Russell, devises a way to communicate with the Muto Prime using frequencies gathered from the male and female Mutos prior to Godzilla killing them. This was the early stages for the development of the Orca device seen in King of the Monsters. They decide to test the device in Portugal at the Azores, but the prototype fails, and all they manage to do is piss the Muto Prime off, resulting in many unnecessary casualties. Godzilla did not make it to this battle, as he was likely too weak after his fight in France to make it there in time. But he was no doubt headed that way. Montana. From Europe, the Muto Prime travels all the way to the Midwest of the United States. In Montana, an old nuclear repository, a place where atomic waste is stored deep under the ground, was the next and likely final target for the Muto Prime. If it managed to get a hold of the energy there, it would be too powerful for Godzilla in his current state to stand a chance. But Monarch had a plan. The prototype Orca with some adjustments should work this time. As the Prime makes it just outside the waste disposal area, it's suddenly blindsided by the G-Man. He was ready to bring the fight to the Muto yet again, no matter the cost. In the heat of the battle, the Muto Prime, now nearly full-powered, releases a roar so powerful that it bursts Godzilla's dorsal plates. The weakened G-Man was about to lose, but then the loud, strange hum of a Muto call echoed from the tunnels of the repository. The Muto Prime stared and was suddenly frozen. The Orca had worked, giving Godzilla plenty of time to grab the Muto Prime over his shoulders and release an atomic pulse that sent the heavy beast flying 1,000 feet up into the air. As it crashed back down to Earth, Godzilla dropped his mighty foot on the back of the Prime's skull and crushed the life out of it. With the aid of mankind, Godzilla was able to live, and the Muto invasion was put to an end. From here on out in the lore, Godzilla is only seen a few more times. After leaving Montana, Monarch followed the G-Man all the way out towards Skull Island, where for a few weeks, Godzilla circled the island like a shark, likely testing the local inhabitants to see if any of them were strong enough to challenge him. After learning that no threat came from the island, Godzilla headed further out into the Pacific, until Monarch was no longer able to follow him as he swam deep into the Mariana Trench, the deepest known part of any ocean on the planet. The depths here could possibly lead to many other tunnels and underground systems, and it's likely that Godzilla used one of these tunnels to make it back to his lair located somewhere in the Atlantic Ocean. And this is where the known lore